Welcome back to a new year and a new episode of the Gameable Audio, a VGM podcast. And first episode of the year in 2026. This is episode 64. I am your host, Kristoffer Schenström, and I have a guest. And the guest is none other than Allister Brimble. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, it's great to be here.
It is great and an honor to have you here on the podcast. And today is going to be a special one. I have posted a little bit about you and talked a little bit about it in order to get you on this podcast. I think in the beginning it felt a little bit unsure. It's like, who is this kind of person first? But I kept sending message after message saying, like, I'm super interested to have you here to talk about
I'm so
things.
sorry. I got so busy and eventually got round to it, though.
Yeah.
This seemed like the perfect time in between Christmas and New Year when I definitely don't have any work on.
So then you add more work to it by joining a podcast.
Yeah, but I like doing this stuff. It's great. So yeah.
That is amazing. It's not too many podcasts where you're able to talk about your passion and your work out there, are there? Or
No, not at all. No.
So it's going to be amazing to just hear a little bit about you, where you come from, and especially what we're going to focus on today, because I know you have a huge heart for it. And I love this type of music as well, even though I didn't really necessarily have an Amiga myself. But I'm just super excited to jump into this. But before we're jumping into the Amiga 40, I just would like to hear a little bit more about your origin story. Kind of, where did you start going into music first and foremost? What led you into this?
Well, I guess my parents were from an acting background, so they all had jobs in the theatre and stuff like that. My mum was trained at Central School of Speech and Drama, which is like a massive drama school in the UK. So we're always like listening to music as children, my brother and I. So it would have come from there, and I would have got piano lessons, from about the age of 7.
Oh, okay.
And I remember my piano teacher challenged me to compose a piece of music. And of course, she didn't think I'd have any chance. But I did manage to compose a little piece on the piano and then remember it. So maybe those early years gave me a bit of confidence I didn't realize about. And then, of course, later on, the other side of it is the computer side. And like all kids at the time, we wanted a games console. Back then, it was a bat and ball game where you just had paddles and you just had to hit a ball on the screen. That was a tennis game, I think.
Oh.
And I think from there we got a computer at school. It's a BBC Micro.
BBC Micro.
BBC, okay. Yeah. This was in all the UK schools, and we had the first one. And I was obsessed by it. And I would sneak into the class before the teacher got and start using it and playing with it. And I usually got myself into a lot of trouble. The teacher was not pleased. And the music was a bit of a highlight for me, hearing it make these amazing tunes. Very basic back then.
But I'm guessing it was a lot of basic things going on back in the day. What year are we talking with the BBC? For me, not knowing what type of computer this is to begin with.
Oh, probably about 1983 or something like that. So years ago, yeah, it was in all the English schools. And it was this, had a proper keyboard and a basic programming language. And it was, it was quite an important advancement in 8-bit computing at the time.
Yeah.
So my parents got me a ZX Spectrum computer. And I don't know if you know about the Spectrum, but it sold millions of copies in the UK.
Yes, it was one of those that had a main market, if I remember correctly, in the UK. And for me, knowing just a very little information, I've seen screenshots on it where, to be honest, the graphics looks horrible.
Yeah, that's
because
so
it can only have, what was it, 4 colors at once on the screen or something? Or was that even too much?
Yeah, you could only have 1 color per character, on the screen. So you got this color clash as the colors sort of blended into the surrounding characters.
I remember seeing an old screenshot of, I think it was Popeye on the ZX Spectrum. It was I don't know what is what, if I'm going to be honest.
I know, it's crazy. But of course, I noticed the sound, and well, actually, the Spectrum could only play one note at a time. It was on a little bleeper. It was just a bleep. But then I started to hear games by the music done by a guy called Tim Follin. And he managed to split, his brother, Jeff Follin, managed to split the beeper up into 6 channels. Started to get this amazing music. There was a game called Agent X and one called Future Games. And very, very grainy, tinny music. But at the time, I was so impressed. I was recording it onto a tape and listening in the car and that sort of thing. Anyway, eventually moved on from the Spectrum. I played around with the sound a little bit, and I got a Commodore 64 first, I think. And I got a little music package. I can't remember what it was called, but you could enter the notes on the screen. And my friends at school started to challenge me to recreate tunes on the computer. And of course, they thought I'd never manage it. It was impossible. We didn't know about the capabilities of computers back then with audio, and of course I did manage it, and I'd bring them back a tape recording, and they normally wouldn't believe I'd done it, but I had.
Somebody else did that.
Yeah, somebody else did it. That's right. Anyway, we got I think a Spectrum 128 next, and there was one particular soundtrack on there called Glider Rider by a game called David Whittaker. It impressed me so much, and I just wanted to know how he'd done it, so I record it on a tape and slow it. I used to slow it down as slow as I could play it to hear exactly how he'd done it. And
to start hearing a little bit of the different kind of the layers of it all. Then
the layers, how did he make because he could play chords on one channel. Spectrum 128 had 3 channels, and I was thinking, how did he play a chord on one channel? And he was alternating between the notes really fast, and with vibrato and ADSR, which is the volume as well. I was so impressive at the time.
Did you figure out how he did it?
Yeah. It's literally, he just alternates between 3 notes very fast, once every frame. But at the same time, he has this LFO vibrato going on, which made it sound so cool.
That sounds impressive to start utilizing something like that and trying to understand and just comprehend of how the music could correlate with each other, especially with the frames and everything, and how, because you basically had to code things in back in the day all the time.
And David Whittaker coded it. It was so impressive. Of course, the other good guy is Rob Hubbard, I was listening to on the Commodore 64, along with a whole load of greats like Martyn Galway and Tim Follin, Ben Dalglish, creating some amazing music, which is really inspiring.
Definitely.
Anyway, eventually I wanted to move on to something more powerful. And of course, the Amiga computer came out. And I managed to sell all my other computers, everyone, and just buy an Amiga. And of course, the capabilities were incredible. Now you could play sampled sound.
Yes.
4 channels of sampled sound. Before that, you had to buy a synthesizer called a Fairlight, which would cost £100,000.
Fairlight. Let's see, Fairlight, was that also a name of a demo group, right? Fairlight.
It was, yes. Whether they took the name or not, I don't know, but it was a very trendy name back then because Jean-Michel Jarre, the French composer, used it to great effect. Albums like Zuluk and stuff like that. And now suddenly you could do this stuff on an Amiga yourself. 4 channels of some 8-bit sampled sound. So, of course, I started playing around with it.
But how did it work to get samples into an Amiga? Was it still some sort of, because to me, when I'm listening to the word sample, it feels like, oh, you're recording a noise and then you can utilize it within the PC.
Yeah, you could record a noise. or you could steal somebody else's noise.
Stealing?
Yeah, well, back then we didn't care. It's like if somebody already made a sample, then I'm sorry, I'm going to use it.
Yeah. Sharing is caring, you know?
That's right. So this wouldn't happen today, but back then most people just use other people's sounds. My first tunes would definitely have probably done that. And later on I bought a sampler where you could record your own as well.
Yeah.
So that was fun. I created some tunes on a package called Aegis Sonics, which you could do a little bit of synthesis and with the samples as well. And about that time, I thought, well, what am I going to do with this? I think I sent a demo to Elite Systems, and they sent a message back saying there were no vacancies or anything. But it was impressive what I did, but there was no vacancies. Then I saw an advert in a magazine, and it was a public domain company. I don't know if you know about these. Public domain software companies were a bit like YouTube is today, where you can show your stuff. And the company would send them out on floppy disks by post.
Oh.
So they were looking for stuff, and they said, just send in your music, your graphics, or your art, or your code, and we'll have a listen and see what we think. So I sent something in. I think I'd done a remix of Jean-Michel Jarre's Rendezvous on the Amiga. And I got a letter back. I was so surprised.
Were you expecting anything like a letter or something when you sent this in? Because I guess it's a way of you following your dreams, wanting to create music. You're like, I'm giving it a shot, but it is just going to be a shot in the dark.
Yeah, it felt like a shot in the dark. And then I got a letter back, and I've got it up here on my screen. It said, Dear Allister, thanks for the letter, the questionnaire, not least the work you submitted. We were greatly impressed by your sonnets music, and these will appear on one of our data disks in a future library update, although which one I'm not sure yet. Thanks for your articles. I'll include these two on the next update. Now, the next bit's quite funny because you may know after Sonics, we used to use a program called Soundtracker, which got extremely popular. That was incredible, and everybody used it. And he wrote, the Soundtracker music program is a bit limited in that it is much harder to program when compared to Sonics, and you also need to incorporate it into actual code. You would be much better advised to wait and have a look at the new sound effects music program from Swiss software house Lionel, which looks similar to Soundtracker but is easier to use. And of course, Soundtracker went on to be super popular, so I'm glad I stuck with it. And that message was sent from a guy called Martyn Brown, and he went on to create some of the most famous video games ever for the Amiga.
He definitely did.
Project X, Super Frog, Alien Breed, and so on. So this is like a foot in the door, and they published my stuff. And later on, of course, 17-bit software, as they were called then, they turned into Team 17.
It definitely did.
I got to do the music.
I knew a little bit of the name per se, but I usually tend to hear just the Team 17. Of course, myself growing up with a lot of Team 17 titles, like hearing the older version, I was like, something kind of stuck in my brain. It's like, I remember this, but why? And then I fully understood, like, oh, it's the previous one.
Yeah, but it wasn't always Team 17. You see, Martyn Brown managed to hook up a group of people, myself, an artist, and a demo group in Sweden. And they were called Team 7. So, of course, you had 17-bit software, and then you had Team 7. And they managed to like blend the two names into one to create their first ever titles. Back then, there was no rights or anything. Basically, Team 17 stole the name, but they just said, "Oh, we'll have that name." Yeah, they all, of course, agreed to it because they were making these great games. But before they turned into Team 17, I managed to sell one of their games to Codemasters under the name of Team 7.
Yeah.
And that was called Miami Chase.
Miami Chase.
It didn't do that well, but it was their first game. and I hooked them up together, dealt with the contracts, and it was a lot of fun.
Because Codemaster is also one of those bigger companies that release a lot of games, especially like rally games and so on back in the day. I remember a lot of those games. At least my father loved the rally games.
Yeah,
I don't remember specific which ones it was because they released so many different ones.
Well, back in those days, it was all about budget games. So all their cassettes were they only cost £2.50 in UK money, €3 or something.
Yeah.
So it's all very cheap games, mostly the Dizzy games, that sort of thing. They were very popular.
They definitely were. I remember playing some of the Dizzy games myself. I think it was just one I played, but back in the day, I only had a limited amount that I was able to play. I played a little bit more of them as I grew older to just see a little bit more of what was going on with these companies.
Yeah.
But okay, so £2 games then. Huh, interesting.
£2 games, yeah. So it's all changed a bit.
It definitely has, especially today's market when everything is going up now as well.
But I did a lot of music for Codemasters games, and they were great to work on because you only had to really focus on one tune. But I remember to this day the first game I did for them, they loved the music straight away. It was for a game called Italian 1990, and I was so pleased. But the next game I did, this was called Nitro Boost Challenge. And I wrote the tune. And of course, I was expecting them to like it again. Remember, I'm only a young boy at the time, really, like 17 years old or something. So, I've never taken any rejection whatsoever in my entire life. And they didn't like it. And I was distraught. And I was thinking, oh no, what do I do? They don't like it. So my mum told me, no, Allister, I think what's happened is you've written the music about a stuntman instead of the stuntman doing the stunts. And she was absolutely right. So that's my mum's sort of acting knowledge coming in. And then after that, I wrote a new tune and then they liked it. But from that point on, I realized the importance of taking feedback, and what you do isn't necessarily the final product. And there might be some changes to make. Even today, I don't really like making changes on stuff, but I do it. I get upset for a day, then just get on and do it.
But it seems like over the course of time here, even from a young boy taking piano lessons to the 70-year-old that didn't at first work well with getting rejected. It feels like your parents has been like a very supportive, I would say like a stepping stone for you as you grew as an artist. Is that a correct assumption?
I think so. Looking back at it, they let me do anything I wanted to do. So although it wasn't a very happy growing up, my parents used to argue a lot.
Okay.
So maybe sometimes I just wanted to go into the computer room and escape, So it's partly being allowed to do what I wanted to do and partly escaping to a quiet place and just getting on with it. So maybe those two things are important. I don't know.
They could definitely be like a factor of it all, at least.
Yeah.
But also being able to be around other kids that actually had the interest of the video game music in this case, especially them challenging you so young as well, trying to create something, and they were like, oh no, you didn't just do that. Come on, you gotta be lying.
Yeah, I think that in hindsight was a massive part of it.
Did you ever at this point in time until you were 17 that you felt like, oh, I need a backup plan. I can't live on making music on a computer?
Yeah, so at about that time, my mum made me go in and get a job because she wanted me to pay my way. She should. And I got a job at a police station. And all I had to do was change the towels where people dry their hands in the toilets. I had to sign the Official Secrets Act. I remember that. All I remember is the policeman used to swear a lot. So they
Okay.
always, and I never heard this before. I think, what? Their language is so bad, just swearing all the time. So yeah, I managed to do the job pretty well. And at the end, they said, "Oh, you've been of great service to the police force." And okay then.
Yeah,
And,
police gotta have clean hands as well, right?
That's right. Yeah. Oh dear. So yeah, that was all fun, and then I think I started to maybe make some money from a game. I got Martyn Brown hooked me up with a company called Grand Slam, and I did the music for a game called Thunderbirds. And I got £500 for the project, which was very good for me back then. I guess.
How did it feel to get the first paycheck? Do you remember what you bought with it?
I think I was. I think I saved most of it. My mum taught me to save, so. But I think after I started to get a little bit more, I started to get a taste for fine wine. So I started to, every now and again, I'd buy a fine wine or port from from the local wine shop. I used to enjoy that. I probably used to just buy more games as well, and so on. But actually, seriously, I think eventually I started to spend my money on buying new equipment to keep ahead of the competition. It's like new synthesizers, that sort of thing. So I could record my own samples, like you were saying before. We always used to steal each other's samples, but I wanted to make my own. And this was a way of doing it, is to buy a really good synth. I bought one called a Kawaii K1, which was very good. And after that, one called a Kurzweil K2000, which is also excellent.
Oh, damn, yeah. So being this early on as well, I'm guessing we're still around the 17 age here, 17, 19 around, I guess.
Something like
when you
that.
got that first paycheck and etc.
Yeah.
And considering already back then so early on that you felt like, hey, I want to be in the front of this, were you the one sharing your samples and everything to everybody else then? Similar to what people did for you when you were growing up and utilizing other people's samples?
I guess so, by the very fact that every tune I did was distributed by 17-bit software, and then people had the sounds. So then you start to hear these other tracks with my own sounds in.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh, you bastards, you stole my sounds.
Oh, how the tables have turned.
That's right.
You bastard. I did that. Where's my credit?
That's right.
You did this happened before AI was cool.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I guess the AI in our heads was still there, but yeah.
No, but it feels like you really and most definitely fell in love with Amiga, to say the least.
Yeah.
And moving on, you have created other soundtracks as well over the course of time. Are you still feeling like you're elaborating and making sure that you're ahead of competition still today, or have you felt like you can actually lean back and just do whatever you love? For example, Amiga 40 now.
Well, the Amiga was just a start, and then I moved on to all the other formats, Super Nintendo, PlayStation, so on. And today, I make sure I keep ahead or up to date. So I use all the latest software like Fmod. Fmod is a great middleware where you can make interactive music, and I use that a lot. And today, right now, I'm investigating some AI music software called Suno.
Okay.
Which everyone is using, annoyingly, to make music.
Yes.
And but I figure to stay ahead of the competition, I need to learn the competition. So I've been learning Suno to see what it does. Can I utilize it at all for ideas? Mostly, I don't want to. I want to use. I think I could get addicted to it too much.
Okay.
It's like, oh, here's the first half of my tune. Just create the second half for me.
Yeah.
I've always been a bit lazy, like using presets from synths, and I worry that this will like draw me into like using AI instead of my own brain. So I'm a bit scared by it, but I have to learn it, you know, to stay ahead, because it is possibly the future. Or what it means for music, I'm not sure. But
and I know I've been talking a little bit about this online myself, and I know it's a huge topic out there. I haven't really talked about it on the podcast, and I feel like I don't want to get into it too thoroughly, because it feels like it destroys a little bit of what I want to shine in this podcast, looking into the actual hard work and love that the composer and artists put into the music that they actually do. And utilizing AI to create something as an end product, in my opinion, I think loses all that heart and passion.
It really does. And of course, a lot of the passion it's the same, very similar to when we were stealing samples on the Amiga. The AI actually does steal music. So, for instance, I think I got it to create some Oriental track, and the first 3 notes were the same as my full contact track for Team 17. So it obviously had that track to learn from in the first place. So yeah, it's all a bit worrying. But is it different to what we do anyway? It's like, if I want to write a new piece of music, I will have all sorts of influences in my head which come from other people's music, and I will mix them all into my own style.
Yeah.
So the AI is doing the same thing. But I guess the worrying thing is it's so easy for anybody now
to do it. Yeah, the competition even grew like larger in a sense, in the capacity of looking at how much is distributed today than compared to like before AI.
Yeah, I'm already getting games companies that are trying to make music on AI to cut out their musicians completely. So, and of course they don't have to tell anyone either. So
definitely they don't. They have no clarity in order to need to do so. And in my opinion, the only thing I think would be at least what I expect from a company is to be at least transparent with the use of AI and what they use it for, at least. That will give me more credit towards the developer rather than not saying it and keeping it in the dark.
Yeah, exactly. But I still think there's a lot more satisfaction making your own music. Making it 100%. Exactly how you want it, and in some styles they still AI just can't do it. So yeah.
No, but I think we have a good grasp of where you come from and a little bit of today, at least, ending it on the AI topic here. But I think it's time for us to jump into the main topic of the day, talking about one of the latest albums you released called Amiga 40. And before we jump into the first track of the week, I just wanted to just summarize a little bit about the album for people that don't know about this. And this is just basically me checking on your Bandcamp page and just taking the notes you've written there. So looking at the Amiga 40, it is a tribute album for the 40 years of the Amiga, an extraordinary machine that shaped a lot of your creative life that you state. The album here, it is also a honors to Martyn Brown, who's encouraged to open the door to game music for you, as his work at Team 17 defined an era, and that you owe him so much of your path to Martyn's beliefs that in what you could do. And for people, myself included, who was a little bit unaware of who Martyn Brown was one of the co-founders of Team 17.
Yeah, that's
I don't think I missed anything, right?
No, that's absolutely right. Yeah.
So the first track that we're going to listen to this week that will introduce it all is the main first track that we have on this album from the Amiga 40, and the title track is called Amiga 40. out, that was the Amiga 40, the first track of the album of the Amiga 40. And for each and every track that we'll listen to, for people that are new to the podcast, I always have a section or a segment called Emotion that we will start out with. This is basically me sitting in my chair, dark room, headphones on, closed eyes, and I listen to the repeat of this specific song until I feel something, until I get something, a feeling, etc. And I will note this down, and that's kind of the starting point between me and the guest in this episode. So my emotion for the Amiga 40, this reminds me of my younger days. I can see the demo scene work in front of me, and it has some cool textured spheres, it has some wavy text popping in. The song, it feels very energetic, like a dance version of a calmer video game track. A remix, so to speak. And for people that know me, know that I love remixes of music, video game music specifically. Well, even if I only have tasted a few games on the Amiga, this track feels very nostalgic to me. So that was my emotion for the Amiga 40, Allister. How do you feel?
Yeah, well, you got it exactly right. It's supposed to be nostalgic. It's supposed to remind you of the Amiga. Now, why does it remind you of the Amiga? Well, first of all, I reused my sounds from Project X. So you'll hear the little staccato sounds at the start. These are reused of the Project X sound from my Yamaha TG77 synth, which I used back in the time. But the big thing about this track is, how have I made it nostalgic? On the sound tracker, which was the program we used back in the day to make music, it came with 2 discs, STO1, STO2, and they were full of samples. They were very basic, but literally everyone wrote their music with those samples. So it sort of defined the sound of the Amiga. And I set about to recreate them for this track. So a lot of the sounds you hear in here are actually the original STO1 samples. I actually imported them direct to my some software called Parawave Rapid, and I extended them. I cleaned them up using granular synthesis. So for instance, I can make a short sound very long. So most of the sounds you hear in this track are STO1.
Damn, this definitely sounds like witchcraft to me.
Yeah, so this is something like an AI couldn't do. This is partly why I wanted to do it. So I just wanted to bring back some memories of Project X as well.
Of the good old days.
And these are memories in this track from before I was even doing game music. When I was just writing random demos when I was 17 years old on Soundtracker, trying to desperately make it sound good. And it's very old memories. So a lot of people may remember them and a lot of people won't. So
That is true. That is true. It all depends on where you started out and how much games you actually played. So if you played Amiga like me only a handful of times, then you might not know or get nostalgic for them. But for me, who loved the demo scene and listened to mod music and so on, like this is just down my alley.
Yeah, and I even had some younger people like it because actually there's like a retro revival at the moment. Like people are loving 80s music, like the music you're hearing in the TV show Stranger Things, you know. So yeah, you can write any music for this sort of 80s, 90s, and people do love it.
Yeah, definitely. But I want to listen in a little bit of why you chose, not specifically chose Amiga, but making the choice of making the 40-year anniversary of the Amiga as an album.
Oh, because the Amiga started my career. And I went to there was a lot of special events put on for Amiga 30 that I went to that I really enjoyed. And this time I decided not to go to them. I'd been a bit poorly and I got some treatment, which meant I don't really want to go in big groups and catch viruses and stuff, you know. I'm okay now.
Good.
Yeah, this is so. Instead, I thought, well, let's just make some music about the Amiga. and yeah, I just started to put a few tracks together, and went on from there. So yeah, it was all about just my memories of the Amiga. What an amazing computer, which I unfortunately stopped too soon, very much too soon. I think 1995 it was dead. It should have carried on, and there's so many people did carry on in the demo scene. There's a massive demo scene today still, and the Amiga never really died. So let's preserve the memories in an album. That's what I thought.
And that was also preserved through your Amiga Never Dies album.
Through the Amiga Works, yeah, where I remixed all my tracks, yeah. But I think I just thought I wanted to do something for the 40th anniversary if I wasn't going to go to these events. So yeah.
Okay, so it became a little bit nostalgic, but I kind of love the fact that you chose not to just utilize like an original sound from the Amiga and then just record that and then this is it. Like you actually took those ST1 sounds and then refurnished them to be modern. Yeah, in a sense.
Yeah, because they were too basic. People, they need to listen to something at least that sounds good. If you go back and to listen to the Amiga today, it's much more. Trust me, it's much more basic than anyone remembers.
It is, but I'm guessing. I might not be alone on this one. I hope God not. But like when I listen to these tracks today, and then I go back to listen to what they were, what I hear today is what I thought they were sounding like back in the day for some reason.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think I got the right memories through, and hopefully you could forget the grainy poor quality. And there is a reason why these sound similar to the Amiga. Okay, it's quite technical, I have to say. But when you take a single sample and you play it at different notes, this is what used to happen on the Amiga. Whereas today, if we have a modern synth, you have many samples for one instrument, and they're all spread across the keyboard. But with this, it's actually transposing that note up and down. So, for instance, if you transpose your bass drum, if you play your bass drum on a high note, there won't be a bass drum anymore. There'll be no bass left in it because you just pushed it up the frequency range. On a modern synth, they'll record you a bass drum on every note, so it's always got the bass in it. So this is partly why. These sounds are like self-filtering when you play with them. You play them high, the bass disappears. You play them low, the treble disappears.
Yeah. So there's going to be a balance as well. What do you want to keep? What do you want to kind of filter out then, I guess?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, sometimes it's so filtered that I had to fake the treble. So like I play a note lower, then there's no top end left at all. And I had to use something called an oral exciter, which is a very old 90s piece of equipment that they now have plugins for that you can just emulate it. And you can generate the top end of the sound. So I did that quite a bit to bring back the quality.
And now comparing like modern tools, like we're in the future comparing to what you created back in the day. Like I'm guessing also the tools have made it easier for you to utilize, even just refreshing and making the sounds more clearer and crispier today. Has it been an easier process to make the Amiga 40 album?
Undoubtedly, yeah. I mean, in the Amiga days, you had to spend ages making your sample set. I did spend, to be fair, I'd spent a long time making this set because I was recreating the Amiga sounds. Yeah. But you've got software like Reaper or any DAW like Cubase or Logic where you can just play everything in from a keyboard now. So instead of on the Amiga when I was typing the notes on my Amiga. So
But I'm guessing, are you still getting a little bit nostalgic for the Amiga to be like, have you ever written something else in modern day on an old Amiga today to just like get a little bit nostalgic?
Yeah.
Or you feel like, no, I'm definitely just happy being more modern today?
Actually, right through my career, through the Game Boy era of my career and the handheld consoles, I used trackers. Not on the Amiga, but like a PC emulation of them. There's one called Mod Plug Tracker, which is very good. And Fast Tracker 2.
Fast Tracker 2, I know.
Yeah, so I used all of these. I never stopped making mods, and even today, I'm doing new games on Sega Mega Drive using a tracker. So yeah, Furnace Tracker. We just released one called Demon Claw.
Demon Claw.
By a company called Bitbeam Canon. And it's done very well. They actually made a brand new Mega Drive game.
I'm just amazed when those kind of things happens. Like when people try to like release a new Game Boy, Sega Mega Drive game or something like this. Like I didn't even think that was going to be possible today, and then I see it over and over again. I'm just stunned.
I know, me too. I mean, people must have the old hardware still, or be buying it just to play the game. Otherwise, you can like play a PC emulation of it anyway, I think.
You just have the ROM ready, yeah. I'm much more for having original primarily now. Of course, I downloaded a lot when I was younger, but that's because I didn't have the money. Now I have the money, so now I can buy things. So for me, I'm having mainly the Super Nintendo collection myself, making sure I get all the games and so on. I'm getting super nostalgic just by having these things.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's fun to see even Amiga games and so on, especially, I don't remember if it was for a PC game, but Monkey Island, the disc, in order to just like, in order to get into game, to avoid piracy, it was just mind blowing.
I know things have changed so much, right? But there's, people are wanting to go back to those days, and in fact, there's a massive revival of Amiga at the moment, which I only recently learnt about.
Okay.
Because Commodore got bought out, and they released a new Commodore 64, which has sold millions. And they're saying the same might happen with Amiga now, so we might see a lot of new Amiga games.
I hope so. Then maybe I will buy one so I can play. Moon. What was the name? Moon something. Your knights running around. Moonstone.
Yes.
Moonstone was.
I actually got asked to make the music for a new Amiga game, but it's not that easy, because it's like you don't want to pay much, because they're not they're just doing this for themselves and not really for commercial gain. And I have to think, this might take me a week, and they want to pay me 200 euros or something, and like I've got a lot of work to do at the moment, and it's much harder than making music today. Much harder. You've got to make those sample sets. You've got to construct your music, sometimes in 3 channels, so the 4th channel can be used for sound effects. It's much more tricky than making music today.
But I'm guessing with all the information you have now and how you transpired over the years, I think you have a little bit of an uphold, like how you can think about things, how you can actually create those things. So I'm guessing you have a little bit more meat on the leg, so to speak.
Yeah, I can do those projects for sure. It's just you've got to think of your actual work that's bringing in your income. And like, for instance, I'm doing the sound design for Power Wash Simulator, which is a current game. It's doing really well in the charts, and I have to do this work.
Yeah.
So I enjoy. I've always wanted to push forwards and do the modern stuff, and I don't like to look backwards too much, because for me things are still improving.
Yeah. But you can't avoid being a little bit nostalgic, it seems.
A little bit. Yeah, absolutely. I like to revisit it occasionally.
No, that's amazing. No, but on the topic of being nostalgic, I think it's time for us to go into the next track of the week. And this is one of the tracks that I've selected out of the tracks available on the Amiga 40 album. So the next track that we're going to listen to is Kinetix from Code the Classics. There we had the spacey soundtrack to Kinetix from Code the Classics, and my emotion for this one, now we're turning up the speed a bit. Kinetix feels like a fast-going spaceship track, but at the same time, I cannot avoid getting a sense of echo within this track. A majority of the sounds feels like they're hitting twice somehow, but with a small adjustment, meaning that the sound hits hard and then right away it answers with a lower sound. It is like the sound travels further away from me. The track is about 2 minutes long, but it feels much shorter and sweeter. This track is definitely a time traveler. And starting off, that was my emotion, but starting it off that you can take on from is Code the Classics. What is this? I found the track within a Code the Classics Volume 2 from the Raspberry Pi Press. I would like to get a little bit more of understanding what this is before we continue on to the track dissection.
So first I'd like to give you the link to the Amiga. Why is this an Amiga track? Because it's not. It is an Amiga track because Eben Upton, who's the creator of the Raspberry Pi, which is very famous now, the Raspberry Pi, he created it to get people back into coding because coding was being forgotten in the schools. And he used to play Amiga games a lot. And he, to my surprise, contacted me a few years ago. I say, Allister, we want to do all these Amiga-inspired games, and we want to put the program listings in a book, so people can do what we used to do when we were growing up and type the program listings in to an editor, and then run them, and then edit them and make their own changes. So he started creating these games. One of them was this one. And I was asked to write a piece of music for each one. I think there's like 5 or 6 games in Code the Classics 1 and another 5 or 6 in Code the Classics 2, which David Braben had who did the very famous game Elite. He had a big hand in the second book.
I love the fact that they made a book for coding, because I can definitely see that it's getting a little bit lost, especially on younger kids being more thoroughly interested in coding and programming in a sense. And I know it's just expanding like crazy right now.
Well, so originally, of course, all the computers we had keyboards, so we could program them, and we had a programming language built in called BASIC. And if you wanted to go a step further, you could program in assembler, which is much harder, but you could learn it. And then later on C++ and so on. But then very soon after, the Super Nintendo came out and the NES before that. And people started to just buy these to play games instead of computers. And what it meant was a whole generation forgot how to code. Well, they didn't forget, they never learnt it. So because they had no keyboard, they couldn't program anything. So we got this lost generation of nearly 20 years. And then suddenly there's a massive problem. The only people that could code anymore were 50 or 60 years old. So they started to have to...
Yeah, it was a little bit of a gap there.
Yeah, a little bit of a gap. Still now, it's a massive problem. Nearly all the big league coders are approaching retirement age. So David Braben and Eben Upton created the Raspberry Pi to try and get people interested in it again, using a programming language called Python, which is easy to learn. And there was also a program called Scratch written for schools, which just basically uses shapes. You can put them into holes and make logic. So they're learning computers there as well. And we hope to produce the next generation of coders. This is already like at least 10, 15 years on. So it is starting to work. We are getting new coders in.
I know of Scratch, for example, myself, because down in southern area of Sweden, we have people that go around and teach younger kids about Scratch to make their own kind of games, because kids nowadays really love games still, of course. It feels weird to say that.
They do. So for the first time, we're getting a new generation that might be able to code. But it was very interesting when I went to a computer games competition in at Hull, in Grimsby Academic. The students there were great, and they were learning stuff. They were writing some very simple programs about the age of 18 years old. But a guy there called Jim Bagley, who's one of the original coders, he said that the stuff they were producing was 10 years behind what he was doing when he was 15. So this is how much of a gap there was. Of course, all the students understood that as well. But some of them were starting to do more impressive stuff. Because of like Raspberry Pi, it is starting to push things ahead. We are starting to get rid of this gap.
It feels like, even for me growing up, I was born in 88. So for me growing up, like I still had the cassettes, I had the VHS. And now we've been going through on DVD, like Blu-ray and so on. It feels like it has been expanding over my age here. It just feels crazy. And knowing also that, okay, what we're creating today is already those 10 years behind. So like, it blows my mind in a sense.
Yeah, I know it's crazy, but things are moving forwards. And of course, you even in a bigger way than music, you've got AI now. This is starting to cause a bit of a problem because even me with very limited knowledge can code quite well now. You're just using AI. We are facing this new problem now. You may not bother learning to code because the AI just does it. So yeah, we will see where it goes. I don't really know.
Just to give a little bit more context as well for Kinetix as well for this Code the Classics games. I said it was a little bit like going on a spaceship track, and I would say it kind of makes sense now that I've seen the video as well from Code the Classics video from this Raspberry Pi, because it has this kind of Arkanoid kind of vibe where you have this paddle and you destroy these blocks above you and you just have this ball bouncing around.
Yeah,
so it kind of makes a little bit of sense.
That's what it is. And basically the bass line from this track is like the Arkanoid bass line. And I wanted to bring back the memory of Arkanoid without copying it. So I made sure I composed a brand new sort of melodies and chords around it with that central idea of this falling bass line.
Maybe I just got a lot of nostalgia because I remember playing, not a lot, but I have played a fair sum of Arkanoid growing up. And if I remember correctly, even in Arkanoid, it's not just a paddle, it is like a spaceship story-wise, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
I might
I seem to remember you're right. I didn't play it much. I played a lot of break the wall games. But yeah, the one thing I remembered was the music, at least.
But going back and making, I would say, smaller tracks, because comparing to the different tracks that we have on this album, I think this was one of the shorter ones, being only 2 minutes long. And for some reason, it felt much shorter, but I think it's due to the fact that it has this kind of hectic melody to it, but I love it.
Yeah, and of course it'll loop as well. So in the game, it would just loop around, so it'd be as long as you wanted. These original title themes, it's nice to make them short because people tend to just press fire to play the game and they don't listen to it. So it's good to pack it all in a short amount of time.
Considering that you have been working with music for so long and developing over the course of time to make sure you're ahead and so on, has the way of you thinking about how to create the music, how to structure it and so on changed over the years, or are you still following your own kind of golden line?
Good question, because often what I do just comes straight from my head. I don't really know how I got there. And I just think I have this type of like mind that takes in different styles and blends them without me even knowing it's happening. And then it comes out as something else. But I have started to think more about structure recently. And it's like, maybe I shouldn't just go so random. And but I think because I don't think about it too much, it kind of works, because a lot of my structure comes from classical music. Because I play classical music on the piano. I was brought up listening to Chopin on the piano. Chopin was somebody who wrote music with not too much structure, but it still was structured. But he just didn't pay much attention to it, and I think that just happens automatically in me because it's the Chopin music is part of me. I often think in a piece of music, the way I structure it is am I bored of this part of the music now? If so, then I'm going to change it to something else. And then this makes its own structure, because then after you've played something else, you think, I would like to hear a bit more of what I was just playing before now. So then you bring this back. And this is effectively classical music structuring, where you might bring it back with a development or change it a little bit. And so, it's good to maybe not have a rigid structure in your head, but just go with your gut.
Vibe music making.
Yeah. How do you feel at each point in the piece? Are you bored of your own tune at this point? And then do something to make it exciting.
Do you usually tend to get bored of your own music? Or
if I am getting bored, then it means there's something wrong with the tune, and I might scrap it completely. So for me, I need to be excited by it myself. I get this feeling, I'm excited by this, it sounds good. And that normally stays when I get that feeling. If I don't get that feeling, I know there's something wrong, and I have to change it.
Do you usually take in other people to listen in on the music to give feedback, or do you like to work on it like fully alone until more of a finalized stage and like, hey, this is the track, and then get feedback on it?
I've done it both ways before. The problem with just writing a small amount of track, then getting feedback, is they're not listening to the final track, so it's sometimes not very impressive, and they give you feedback when you haven't even finished. So quite often I like to get to the end of the track, then polish it, then send it to them, because this final polishing stage is really important. You can write the track, but then you need to master it. And actually, a lot of people just listen to how good the audio quality is. So I want to make it as good as possible before they listen to it. And then I'll take on board their feedback. Hopefully it doesn't happen too much. In some games, it happens a lot. I recently did one called Beyond the Ice Palace 2. It was an old 8-bit game, and they made a new version of it. But the amount of feedback was incredible. And it was very hard work, I have to say. And some of the feedback, I think, made it better, but some of the feedback made it worse, and I have to do it anyway. So this is what it's a bit like being a game composer sometimes, because
sometimes you need to also understand that you are also just selling the product themselves. So if they want something changed, you make that change until the customer is happy.
Yeah.
I don't think as a composer or basically somebody that sells something or a commodity, etc., feeling like, yeah, this is what I present to you. It's like, no, you need to change it. No, this is what you want. It's like, it's going to be hard to sell that, right?
So hard. And sometimes the person you're trying to please is like a wannabe composer. And like, they're not good enough to be a composer, but they want to do it, and they can do it a little bit. So it's really, they want to put their ideas onto you. And most of the time you're thinking, well, why don't you just let me do what I think I should do? And then it's going to be better. But yeah, you do, because they're the paying customer, you do have to satisfy them.
Exactly. I think if I remember correctly, I think I might have brought this up on one of the episodes earlier, but I think it was Grant Kirkhope that talked about, like, why do somebody employ him to make music in his style and then say change it entirely to make something else that is not his style?
I know, exactly. It is so annoying. And do you know what? The best tunes I've written over the years, the best reception I've had to the tunes I've written have been the ones where I came up with them myself. It is interesting that you really can dilute the quality of your music with this constant input of somebody else trying to make it into their own music, you know. But you just have to do it, you know. That's the way it is. I guess those guys in the end will start using AI to make everything, and then they'll be happy. So
and then we'll see about the customer of their game, how happy they will be about the music. I'm just placing this right now. This is where everybody heard it the first time. Most likely people have been shouting this for a long time, ever since AI started, though. But anyway. No, but considering, it's like one thing I want to ask before we listen in on the next track, is the thing that you said that the best kind of work comes out when you can work alone. Does that mean when you come up with 100% of your own, or would it even work great to come up with your own, even if you have like reference material to a track that the game studio wants to have, for example?
Yeah, I work quite well that way, because it gives you a starting point, and you know that what you're going to do is in the right ballpark of what they want. Unfortunately, what happens a lot of the time is they don't know what they want, so they give me a reference, and then you'll write something like it, and then they realize afterwards they don't like it. And they actually wanted a different reference. You end up having to make it twice, and this isn't good. So we end up making contracts in the end that says you're only allowed to have 2 major revisions and 2 minor revisions to the music.
Okay.
And a lot of people do this to stop you going around in circles forever.
Yeah, that is true. And of course, time and money just rolls on over the course of time. And I'm guessing you usually have a set amount, like, oh, I'm going to do X amount of tracks and this will cost them X, or is it more time based? Like, oh, I put 50 hours into this, you owe me this.
Yeah, you normally often quote on the number of minutes of music. So, yeah. Your time can get used up a lot. You could spend weeks and weeks on a tune if you weren't careful. It normally doesn't come to that. I normally just do it anyway, which is probably why I didn't make much over the years.
But I guess that is also a learning process. You're not working with economics yourself, even though it would be good to have it. You are a composer, so you're focusing on making the music, and you want to make it as good as possible.
I want to make it as good as possible. I don't really care. You know, if I have to revise it 10 times, I'm just going to do it until they're happy. But you know, most of the time, you don't have to do too many revisions. I did one game called Project Overload, and I did come up with some good tunes, but they wanted a lot of edits. I felt it started to lose its structure by the end.
Okay.
But sometimes when I listen to it back, I think, well, maybe some of the ideas were good that they had. It's good that they have like input the whole way, but it just takes so much time.
And I guess it takes a little bit of energy as well in that take.
A lot of energy, you know, because sometimes you can't even sleep, you know, because you might think of an idea in the middle of the night and how to satisfy this feedback.
Yeah, you are not the first composer to say that. Yeah. I understand that is a little bit of a curse.
Yeah.
But a curse, it seems a lot of people take with happiness, though.
I found a new way now. If a tune comes into my head, you just whistle it into your phone. This way, you don't have to. You can switch off and say, right, I've recorded what I was thinking of. It's gone, and then you listen to it the next day, ready for your work.
Oh, that's great. That's a great example. No, but it is time for the next track. This is the next one that you've selected. So this is going to be the track Martyn's Lights. Martyn's Light, and my emotion for this one. Bell tolls, guitar riffs, synth, long sounds that give me a sense of past. The first 1 minute and 30 seconds of this track, it feels like we're traveling back in time to land in a specific moment. After the track, it just feels more coherent with its melody, trying to tell a story instead. As the guitar pops in from time to time, I would feel like this is more of a conversation going on in this moment of time. It's like telling of the past. While the guitar pops in, they're more like, hey, did you remember that moment? Like that kind of phrase one might say when you're reminiscing about memories with an old friend. And I don't know if that was the intention of this track, considering the name of this track and what has happened and transpired over the years. So I would like to get a little bit more understanding here on the track.
Well, first of all, the thing to know, if you don't know, Martyn Brown passed away last year, unfortunately.
Yes.
So that's part of it. And I wanted to write a track in his memory. So in the old days, I just used to send him random tunes, and by floppy disk in the post. And he'd reply to me saying, he'd either say, oh, I don't like that, or, oh, this is bloody ace. He'd always say that, yeah. And then I used to learn by his feedback, what was good and what wasn't. So I just wanted to write another random track. But when I started it, so I started off like, with this idea that he used to like Pink Floyd a lot. So, which is the guitar riffs you'll hear occasionally. He used to love that stuff.
Ah, okay.
And I started the track kind of, just fairly ordinary, like rock type motif. And I started to get bored with it, and I started to realize I could build this up and up into new themes. So I wanted to get this feeling of the building all the way in the track. So you're building to bigger and bigger heights all the time, which sort of mimicked Martyn's creativity and passion for games that he helped so many people to get into the games industry with, and he used to help us, believe in ourselves, and so that's what the track's all about. Also, I have to say, you picked up on the bells, which is great, because I just listened to the Hans Zimmer version of the Top Gun theme, and I loved that bell so much that I recreated it here. I just wanted to use it, so I didn't stop playing it once, as you heard. I used it everywhere because every time you play it on a different note, it sounds good.
Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does.
Just keep doing it the whole track. Oh dear. But yeah, I love that Top Gun track. Is so good. If anyone hasn't heard it, go and listen to the original, then listen to Hans Zimmer's version as well.
I just remember is it the main theme?
It is, yeah. But musically, it's very diverse and goes on a lot.
Yeah.
But Hans Zimmer took that original bell and made it something huge. I loved it. So it's actually 3 or 4 different sounds at once to make it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But with this is all composed by those kind of ST1 sounds as well?
No.
Or is it more modern taking this?
Just all modern sounds. Completely random composition, like I said. Actually, it was kind of getting stressed by it because I didn't really know where to go with the track. I didn't want to make it too like, oh, Martyn's died, let's make it sad. I wanted to just make it happy, really. Remind me of the work I used to do for him.
But I think that is beautiful. And for me, listening to your story and so on, and especially be like, I send him a lot of floppy disks with music, and he gives feedback, and all these tracks that you sent to him has always been for games, etc. But this is the first time you're kind of giving him a track for him.
Yeah, essentially what I used to do before I was doing music for games, and just 17-bit software stuff, I was really making them for Martyn and sending them to him to get his feedback or see if they wanted to publish them on their discs. You didn't get paid. There was no money involved in the public domain thing. So yeah, I was basically trying to do the same again.
So going back a little bit to the roots.
Yeah, very much to the roots there. I don't know what his feedback would have been to this track. He probably would have said that the bell was bloody ace, and he liked the guitar. That's probably all he'd have said. But yeah.
So you're really playing on his strings.
Yeah.
Do you know if he'd like Top Gun as well?
He would have, yeah, very much. Yeah, he used to send me music on a tape because I didn't have many influences in modern music other than Jean-Michel Jarre. So he used to send me a lot of stuff like Pink Floyd and Supertramp and all this sort of stuff. I used to learn from it. Learn the music Martyn likes, and then send him something a bit like it, and he'll like it. Because from all my feelings from this, it didn't feel like more of a nostalgic kind of gamey feeling. So I'm guessing there were no real video game inspiration for this track specifically. It had only the Pink Floyd and more Top Gun kind of vibe to it. This is the way it was. Back, like I say, in the 17-bit days, the music I wrote then was not game music. I was just nice tracks. So, there's definitely a blast from the past and revisiting my roots.
No, that is great, and I think it's a great way to do the memory of Martyn as well. Like for me, who didn't know about him, I needed to check this out, and I understood, and I saw this. It was this remembering of Martyn Brown on Team 17's page, and it was very beautiful to read through everything, and from all the different. Well, there's a section with your section where you have written a memory of him as well. It was very beautiful to read through this, and I will of course post this so other people can read this as well, because it was very beautiful to read.
I'm glad you read it. Yeah, it was good times. The Amiga with Martyn. So we all miss them, you know. And that sort of passion. There's not many people with the same passion as Martyn had, because now it's all become so business-like, you know, when you do music for sounds for a game or so. Yeah, those were good days.
Yeah. No, reading through, it seems like he was really good with handling people and so on. And just reading that, not knowing anything about him, it feels like the classic, like a good friend of yours, not essentially a businessman running a company.
Yeah, he sent me loads of letters, stuff, and we definitely became really good friends. I remember once he sent me a 50-page letter all about his life, the entire stuff for his entire life. I was like, I still have it somewhere. Oh dear.
That is amazing.
I know. Yeah. So, yeah, we definitely became good friends.
Yeah.
It was always disappointing when we stopped working together, because you know, things were brilliant in the early days, but things moved forwards and became more business-like, and they were more focused on making money. Obviously, they needed to keep their company going, and they wanted to have somebody working in-house. And of course, I didn't want to. I was happy living in Devon with my parents at that point. So I said no. So they got an in-house composer in the end, and soon after that, the Amiga died anyway. So I was fairly happy, because I was moving on with Super Nintendo and exciting stuff like that. PlayStation games like Driver, which did. People think the early Amiga games were successful, but they're not compared to the other games I did afterwards. With Driver, we sold 16 million copies. This is 16
which
times
is an insane number, yeah.
And Rollercoaster Tycoon, a similar number. So
it is crazy.
Things got better and better for a while.
It most certainly did.
But I tell you one funny story, because we kind of fell out a little bit when I didn't accept the in-house position. Martyn didn't like it, and obviously he wanted to work with me because we made up this friendship, and he thought I would say yes. And I just done the music for a game called Screamer. Okay.
Screamer.
It's a driving game for Virgin Games with real electric guitar music. I got a guitarist in to help me do it. And my friend Gary Simons was up in the Team 17 offices, and they just put this game on a big screen. And they were like, what the hell? This is brilliant. And apparently Martyn was decided he was going to get a bit down on me, and started saying, Allister, you know, his music was brilliant at the time, but he was getting lazy, and his music wasn't as good anymore. And at the same time, this game was on the screen. He said, God, the music in this game, it's really good. I've never heard anything like it. It's brilliant. And suddenly, my credits scrolled across the screen. And apparently his jaw dropped. And
oh no!
So yeah, he learned.
When you're definitely going like, yeah, you've been proved wrong, right here and right now.
He learned that I wasn't done yet. Yeah.
Yeah. And that is amazing.
Yeah, I think what he's absolutely correct in what he said, because I was getting very bored with the Amiga by this point. You know, I wanted to make
something new.
I kept making new sounds. I wanted to make it sound perfect, and the more you tried to make the sounds perfect, I used to record them on a Kurzweil K2000 and transfer them digitally to the Amiga, so there was no noise, nothing. Almost the more perfect you tried to make it, the worse it got. And this is the phase I was in. I think maybe the sort of grungy, distorted nature of the sounds we were using made it good. So yeah, I was definitely going downhill on the Amiga, but the Amiga was also going downhill. So
no, but maybe you hit that kind of, not rock bottom per se, but you hit that bottom where like we can't really push it further right now, and that's why you needed this other outlet that could break that boundary and continue to grow and like develop to the next stage.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Super Nintendo then was very exciting, and also building up my own home studio to make proper music.
And I'm guessing this was still quite early in the Super Nintendo era as well, so it was new for everybody. So you basically were in the front forefathers of making music for the Super Nintendo then.
Yeah, it was first year of the Super Nintendo, so that's why I was the first with a sound driver. David Whittaker, having made the sound driver, then moved to Electronic Arts in America. He wanted to sell the rights. He sold me the sole rights to his sound drivers. Unfortunately, he sold the sole rights to two other people as well. So, good old David. Yeah.
Oh, I kind of forgot I sold them. Like,
yeah,
what?
that's right.
Good memory. Good memory. No, but it is time for the next track. It is my second track it's not the last track of the week, but it is the last track I chose for this podcast. And it is from the game Bubble and Squeak. Bubble and Squeak is fading out there, and my emotion for this is a playful victory tune. If we remove the squeaky dog bark noises that we have in this song, you would be 100% able to sell me this track like it was from one of those kind of Olympic games. I feel like a champion, bobbing my head back and forth while this track plays. And that was my emotion, but before I want you to take note of this even more, I didn't essentially know that this was actually from a game. I thought this was just a normal like Amiga 40 modular kind of tracked music or something, but yeah, it is actually from a game. And after some research, I know for a fact that you were the one who originally made it also for the Amiga. And this is the title music for Bubble and Squeak that got released in 1994. How did it feel to move back into an old track such as this and just use the refined sounds now and add the dog barks?
Well, they were the original samples, those squeaks.
Okay.
Yeah, there were two characters in the game, I think, Bubble and Squeak. So they both they had to be represented in the music. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun revisiting the track. I don't know how popular the game was at the time, but for me it was personally interesting because it was the first time I had to make both an Amiga version and a CD32 version, which was played off CD. So I had to use my new sound studio to make the music. I did the original tune on a mod. And I also had a brand new synthesizer, a Kurzweil K2000. It was very advanced. Even today, it sounds good. So you are hearing a lot of the sounds from the Kurzweil K2000 in that track. On the originals, at least. So yeah, it was fun times. It was like probably the peak of my abilities on the Amiga. And then, so what sort of
That
date?
is awesome.
Can you remember the date on this game?
It was 1994.
94, so 1 year to go till the end of Amiga.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we are right at the end.
Gotta end at top, right?
Yeah. So yeah, after that, I maybe did a game called Indie Heat after that. And that was probably about it. Yeah.
But I had to listen through the original song as well. Of course, I had to do.
Yeah.
And I didn't react to any squeaky dog sounds or anything. Listen to the original one. These were only used while you were playing the game then to represent the characters, or?
I thought I had them in the original.
Or it could have been the CD34. This was just Amiga, and I played that, and I did not hear the squeaky sounds.
Well, we had a lot of
listening
tunes. There was a lot of tunes in this game. In-game.
Oh, okay.
There's like 8 in-game tunes, so all with their own style. So yeah, I think I did use it in the title theme, but if you say so, I can't. I'm not sure now. So
yeah. It's like when I listen to it, it sounds more like on the spot of just having the main melody of it, and this feels more enriched, and it had these squeaky dog sounds thing. Middle and in the beginning of the track that I did not react to on the original unless it used an entirely other sound, but it didn't sound like the squeaky sound we hear in this specific track.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I thought I used it back then. Yeah. Maybe not in that track, but one of the others. Yeah, it was just the silly sort of thing you'd do back then. Like in Super Frog, I had the frog sounds in it, and so sort of literal thinking of like beginner composers.
But then looking at the tracks, and having frog sounds for Super Frog, and having these kind of dog sounds, squeaky toy for a character in Bubble and Squeak. Are you trying to capture a little bit of the essence of the characters then to present? And well, this is the main theme that you hear in the menu, I guess.
Yeah, I would have been just like you say, trying to capture the characters. It's I guess because you're on the Amiga, you got samples, you may as well use them. Yeah, in some way. I think it was much more effective in Super Frog because, of course, we had a Superman theme at the start. Effectively, and with a frog croak at the end, just for more I guess I was trying to add some humor as well. So. You
gotta have fun at work, right?
Yeah, that's right.
No, but it's fun that you add a little bit of quirkiness to it. And considering my emotion here, what did you feel about me saying it sounds like an Olympic game if you just take the melody to it?
Like, I guess it wasn't intended. So it's just the way the track came out at the time. But it could well be, yeah. You could well get that sort of triumphant sort of competing Olympic sound from it.
I think it's a little bit in the longer notes, dun, 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 that kind of gives that dun, 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 dun.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
Dun, 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 dun.
I don't think at the time I would have thought about it at all. I just wrote what was in my head, and yeah.
You're seeing what I'm hearing, at least.
He probably told me he didn't want the music too cute. And I should do something else with it now. So if you go back then and listen, what was I listening to then? It was probably things like Rambo and Rocky, that sort of thing. Eye
of the Tiger.
Yeah, all of that stuff. So this would be the influence of the time.
Could be. So you usually used a lot of, I would say, mainstream kind of music then, as a little bit of reference of your own interest in music? Or did you listen to a lot of video game music as well at the time?
It's all video game music, really. Maybe some Jean-Michel Jarre as well. And there's one group called Art of Noise, which was very good. It uses a Fairlight synthesizer. And I was quite into that. But I didn't listen to much. This all came from my head. from my listenings of Commodore 64 music from the past, really.
Yeah. Was there any intention in why you didn't listen in on too much music? I heard a little bit of composers saying that they didn't want to be influenced by others' works, for example.
No, I don't mind being influenced. I just think when I'm composing music all the time, then I don't listen to music much for pleasure because it's my work, you know. It's like I prefer silence. I don't
the sound of silence.
I don't listen to any music today.
Okay.
So, but occasionally I need to learn a new style, and I'll go with it. So yeah, it might be time. What I occasionally do is I realize, I need to reinvent myself, and I will make sure Radio 1 comes on every morning to wake me up, and I'll be hearing the latest tunes then.
But I'm guessing Radio 1 is more like mainstream. You listen to the latest Lady Gaga and so on, I guess.
You do, yeah. And then from this sinks in and will come out. You'll learn the type of rhythms they're using at the moment and try and emulate them.
So theoretically, if a company would come up to you, it's like, hey, we're making this kind of gym simulation game and we would like some gym funk music in this game. Is that something you're up to task for? Like, what would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to listen.
Would you know?
Listen to a lot of that style, I guess.
Yeah. I recently learned myself that it's an actual genre called gym funk with the PHONK. I was like,
oh dear. No, I had no clue. I was the same when I did the music for Driver. I'd never done any funk before, so I just had to listen to loads of TV shows, detective series, you know. And so I remember when I wrote the music, my mum said to me, Allister, this sounds completely different to your normal music. I was just, explaining to her that you just have, it's just a new style they asked me to do. I had to learn. So, yeah, if they ask me to do a new style, I try.
Yeah. Was there any sort of detective series that you were really captured more by at that point in time, if you remember?
Starsky and Hutch.
Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah, this is an English series. Yeah, so there's a lot of that.
Yep. Oh, we are getting a little bit short on time, so we're going to cut this a little bit short and jump straight into the last track of the week. So, Are you ready for it? This is your last pick. Project X Light Years. Last track of the week, that was Project X Light Years. And my emotion for the last track was this synth sound really gets me back. And for some reason, I know a lot of people have been pointing out this even of me talking about the Dance EJ days. I don't know. Do you have any reference to Dance EJ, Allister?
No, but what I remember is that when I wrote this track originally on the Amiga, I'd never heard any dance music at all. None of it.
Oh,
so somebody had to send me it to know what it was even like. There was a style back then called rave that they were doing. A lot of like bending synth sounds. So this is
interesting.
Yeah, so this is what I had to learn the style, and came up with my own sort of style. And the funny thing is, a lot of people tell me, Allister, I learned to write dance music by listening to your track. And but I also had to learn it. So
you're both learning.
Yeah. Oh dear. So I probably had to copy a lot of styles around at the time.
Oh my god!
People think I invented it, but no.
Oh, it is so much fun. There has been one thing that kind of has been like a middle point sometimes that I've been talking to over and over again here on the podcast. But anyway, nonetheless, back to the emotion here. Project X Light Years is a banger. I'm kind of lost at words, if I'm gonna be honest, because when I was listening to this, all I can do was just swing and dig into this track as I was listening to it. But one thing that felt a little bit off with this, it kind of stuck out to me, and I would like to hear a little bit more on your thought of. So around the 1 minute and 55 seconds within this song, there is a soundscape happening within the background that reminds me a little bit of breaking cars. It's nothing bad or anything, but it just stuck out to me within this track. And I had you specifically listen to this thing, and I just wanted to hear a little bit on the process here.
I think it's just a one-off effect there, is there? Or
yeah, for me it sounds like it's cars kind of drifting around, like. But it's kind of dragged out a little bit. Yeah. But it's kind of what it resembles a little bit to me. That's what I think when I hear that specific noise.
Yeah, I don't think there's any particular reason. Just it's like a modern sort of sound I'm using just to emphasize the stuff that's already there. So it's not actually probably not in the original Project X. I think it's unique to this version of the track. And it might be standing out because I made some of the sounds at that point in 3D. They're in binaural, so they're going around your head, and the sound may have stood out a bit more than it should because of that reason. It kind of separates the sound. So yeah.
And that is really interesting. And for people that don't know, this track it was made for the official Project X sequel called Project X Light Years. And for the original one, which you made the theme for, it is basically the same. But considering that this is also sequel, I'm guessing you added a little bit more flavor to it, like the breaking cars stuff.
Yeah. Well, the big thing was in the original, I took a recording from something like some track at the time on a tape. I took a recording of the rave sound, and I made the whole track around this rave sound. It's like a bending analog synth, like a sort of sound. And I wanted to do it properly this time without using a sample. I wanted to play it on a synth, so I decided not to do that exact bend. I did something new. I made a nice patch on some software called Powerwave Rapid, and went with that. But I was so pleased when Martyn came to me with this version of Project X and asked me to make the music again. I've written this track about 4 times in the past, rewritten it. I was thinking, oh no, what can I do that's different? So yeah, it was just me. It's actually not the same track. If you go back and listen to the original, it's actually the chord structure is quite different. But it reminds you of the original. It starts out.
It definitely did.
Yeah, it starts out the same.
I tried to listen 1-to-1, and it felt like it was the same to me. But like you're saying, it had made into something new.
Yeah.
And for me, it was just, he made it modern. But I love that you're actually stating out that no, there are differences more than I listened into specifically back in the day. But
melody's different. But I kept to a lot of the original stuff as well. And sometimes with my new piano chords in this, which are different notes, I still wanted to put back some of the old notes. So I might like play them on the piano and then play the missing notes high up or something like that, just so you still have them, the memory of them.
But is this also a little bit of remembrance? Because I don't know the story of these games now, since I haven't played either of them. But I'm guessing, is this also a little bit of a take of the character, the spaceship?
You know about the game, yeah? This is just a shoot 'em up. So really, there's no character stuff in this music at all. It's just a dance track, because Martyn Brown told me this is the style we like at the moment. Let's just make a modern dance track. That's the only reason. He didn't even want to make it like a shoot 'em up or anything.
Okay.
He just like this style. So we had this modern style, and in the game you can actually choose between this style and the old timers track. So you've got this track and a old track you can switch to.
Is it an older version than, or is it like the Project X music that you can, which is the old timer version, or is it this newer version just sounding old?
No, in the original game, you switch to an old timer track, which is completely different, more like an ambient Jean-Michel Jarre track. Okay.
Yeah. I misunderstood. I thought it was specifically for the Live Series game.
No, because in the original Project X, this music was very modern. So modern that some people wouldn't even like it. So they were worried that some people would just switch it off. And they have to have this.
So you wanted to capture that somehow.
Yeah. So this new track, I wanted to make it. I didn't want to make it sound old. I wanted to make it sound current. So I changed the melody a bit. So it doesn't. The old melody, just so you know, it was dun 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 dun. So we're playing it every note. So now we go dun 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 dun. You see, we're playing a different melody.
Yeah,
completely. But with some of the notes from the original.
Exactly, still has the nostalgia filter kind of over it, but it's new.
Yeah, and of course the drum rhythms are much more modern. These are basically presets from Powerwave Rapid, slightly edited to my needs. So yeah, you see these days I still steal the sounds these days. So yeah.
yeah. But on a personal level, for you to create both of them, you're not making an homage to somebody else's work. You're making an homage to your own work.
Yes.
Like, what do you think of this yourselves? Like, I understand you still like what you did before, but on a personal level, which one do you like the most? Do you still like the older one more than the newer one, or have the newer one grown much more on you due to the more new ones you could create with it?
I prefer the new one for the modern era. But if you go back, I like the old one better for its raw sort of dance music nature. And actually there's been a lot of discussion online of who likes which track better. So I came to the conclusion that you can never replace the original.
That is true. That is true.
It is what it is, and it was good then. But I just wanted to do something that said to people that this Project X Lightyear's game, which is really good, by the way, people should buy it. It's an excellent game. This game was not the original game. This is a remake with a lot of new features, and a lot of quality of life features to make it much better than the original game. A lot of people might not know this, but the first version of Project X we put out, you could not complete it. In fact, the game crashed on level 3.
No.
Yes. So they had to send out a whole load of floppy disks as a replacement.
No,
nightmare.
That must have cost a fortune.
Yeah, it must
and people say that, oh, we didn't ship games with bugs in them back in the day.
That's right. So yeah, I do recommend people try this game. It's really brings back the memories of the original game, and I want to do that with the music as well. Bring the memories back, but make it say that this is also something new.
That is beautifully said. And also for people that are interested in this game, it's a shoot 'em up, and it is also available as a demo, so you're able to test this game out before crashing on the third level. No, I'm just joking there.
Yeah, it's also very cheap, and these days it's much easier. You can choose different levels, and you can
so much quality of life.
Yeah, you can get much further through the game now. Yeah.
It would have been hilarious if that was a thing back in the day, as an homage, do that for the newer one. But then you have like a shop, and then in the shop you can like fix the game. So you're supposed to play the third level, have enough resources to open up the rest of the game.
Yeah, I know, that would be cool. I mean, that would be very cool.
Yeah, it would have been hilarious.
One thing he does have in there is a retro mode. So you can switch the audio back to the original 8-bit sounds, and you can switch the graphics back to the original style as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Quite fun.
That is great. I love when people do those kind of remasters and so on, and they add like the old look of a game. I played a couple of them myself, and I just love the fact that you can just press one button and it changed to the old graphics somehow. Just amazing.
Yeah, it's
and
great.
I love that kind of shtick.
Yeah, I love it.
No, but yeah, I think it is time for us to close down a little bit on the topic of the Amiga 40. But before we do that, I have still a couple of questions. So the first question is going to be, do you feel like we missed something surrounding the Amiga 40 and the work you did for it before the last two questions?
I think we pretty much said everything. I just wanted to make an album to celebrate 40 years of the Amiga, and also to show that the Amiga is making a comeback at the moment, and people should watch out for it, because there are new games coming. I've personally seen them.
Yeah. And everybody take that as a threat.
Yes.
now.
That's right. In fact, some of the guys who did Cannon Fodder, but a guy called Stu Cambridge, one of the artists, he's bringing out a new game soon. You'll see it online. I can't even remember what it's called now, but it looked really good when I played it at one of the recent shows. So yeah, watch out for that.
Definitely. Cannon Fodder was back in the day even a pretty cool game.
It certainly was.
Having all the different things.
Great.
And I still love the video. I don't remember, because it wasn't available on all platforms. The War Never Been So Much Fun music.
Oh, I love that.
I know you had kind of the theme, but the music video is just amazing. Them walking around being silly and everything.
Yeah, well, of course, I did the music for that on the other formats. So I did the Super Nintendo version. But I had to drop all the vocals because it didn't fit.
War, never been so much fun. War.
And John Hare is very talented. I just have to say he's such a nice guy as well. His humor kind of matches mine perfectly. So we're always chuckling at each other's jokes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's the best thing, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if we didn't miss anything, I would go into the last two questions. And the first question that we're going to start with, considering the album and everything, I would like to hear if there were any challenge you had with this that you can remember. Like, was there anything you were struggling with setting down?
I guess the biggest struggle was making enough tracks to make it an album, you know. This is why I threw in the Code the Classics tracks, because they were vaguely Amiga related, because Evan Upton was this Amiga fan who wanted to do Amiga style games. And of course the massive challenge on the Amiga 40 track, making those Amiga samples good enough to actually reuse in a track and sound okay is not easy. So yeah,
and you wanted them to be a little bit diversified from each other, so they're not sounding all the same, I guess.
Well, the problem is the original sounds, they stop when they're only like 1 second long, so you play them and they just stop dead. So when you hold down a key, you want it to continue. This is basically what I had to do, is reconstruct it so you could make it any length. So that was, even these days on a keyboard, when you let go of the sound, you want there to be a release and to continue until it fades. So,
it fades away.
So all that stuff. Before you could only do with a tracker and special commands. So that was the biggest challenge, I think, for me.
Okay. And then, of course, always ending it all on the best kind of notes. Like, releasing this album now, what was the greatest achievement? Like, was it something else you were able to obtain while working on it that you felt like, oh, damn, this was an achievement?
I guess just being able to put the album out just at the right time with perfect name. And what did I achieve from it was a lot of people... Normally when I put new music out, people don't listen to it or download it. But I got about 1,000 sales straight off. People really were inspired by the name Amiga 40, and I think I made the first track, had a good bass line. People listen to that on Bandcamp and then think, oh yeah, it sounds cool. So, but yeah, that was the main thing, to get people to actually listen to it, and they did. Some of my other albums, they've only got 50 or 100 listens. If it's like a modern video game, people don't care as much. But they remember those old times. But yeah, it was great to actually do well with a new album.
But that is good. It's so much fun to hear a little bit of a success as well, because the noise out there, everybody releasing, and like we talked about, going back to something we talked about already, the AI is like, the noise is even further.
That's the thing. One thing I achieved from this is that it sounds different to AI. So even if you go into AI, I tried it. I'd say try and make me a soundtrack from the 90s from Amiga. It doesn't sound anything like this. So yeah. It's one style that the AI doesn't know about yet.
It can't steal old samples.
No, it can't steal old samples. It makes everything sound too good.
Yeah. It's all about the perfection and
the imperfection.
What I usually tend to say when I'm talking, like the perfection you get through the imperfection, and that's the heart and soul people have. Yeah, it's the imperfection.
Imperfection, the way these samples used to work is very different today to today's multi-mapped sample patches, where everything sounds perfect.
Exactly.
Or even analog synths became much more popular. They still sound perfect in every way, the Amiga wasn't like that.
Great challenge and an amazing achievement, to be honest. I'm very happy for you to get this out as well, and I'm very honored to have you on the podcast and being able to listen in on this soundtrack as well. I've really enjoyed the full soundtrack, definitely.
Yeah, it's been great chatting to you. I really enjoyed it, bringing back the memories. Sometimes I forget these memories myself, and then you are the first one to remind me about them for a few years, and awesome. They were good times,
We got to remember the good times. That is very important. It keeps the flame alive a little bit longer as well. Like knowing that core memories of yours.
The core memories. And of course, when you were actually doing this stuff, you didn't realize these were the good times either.
You're just in the moment.
Just in the moment. You realize it a bit later.
But yeah, so as we're closing down the focus on the Amiga 40, we're going to focus a little bit back on you. So is there anything going on at the moment that you are able to promote at the moment? Like, is there anything else going to release soon, etc.?
So I still do music for games, and the other side is I do a lot of sound design. I really enjoy sound design. I just did the sounds for a big game called the Plucky Squire, which is a fantastic game you should play because
I definitely have that on my playlist.
It's so creative. The game starts 2D and suddenly it explodes into 3D, and then in the 3D you get 2D. It's something
it is mind-boggling,
never seen
like
before.
how they made it. And
so I recommend you play that. A friend called Mike Georgiadas did the music. I did some of the little jingles in the game, but I mastered the music. So I made it, took his music and made it sound slightly cleaner and better for the final release. But I had such a big, I think there's something like 25,000 sound effects in the game. So we needed 2 people on that game for the audio.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah. I'm doing the music for a new game called Metal Mac by Bitbean Canon. That will be on Mega Drive and Neo Geo.
Neo Geo, not the console I've heard in quite some time.
And PC as well. You'll get like a Steam emulation of it. So that's all like FM Mega Drive stuff. That's fun. And the big project I'm working on at the moment is called Power Wash Simulator 2.
That's a game that I've heard so much for that people find really interesting, Power Wash Simulator.
Yeah, this game has basically kept me going for the last few years. People love it. It's the equivalent of a modern day coloring book, except you're cleaning stuff with the washer to reveal these clean, shiny landscapes. So yeah, watch out for that. I really enjoyed doing the sound on that. There's no music in the game.
That's
it's
great.
Just all ambience that I've recorded from my local sound area in Devon. All the traffic in the game.
I thought you were going to say almost a power wash store.
Yeah, that's right. And there is another game coming, which I can't tell you about yet, but I am doing the music, and this will be really big for me as well. So
that is awesome. But then we will keep that in mind, and of course, when that game and soundtrack releases, I will definitely try to keep up and promote it as well.
I'd say we'll be going back to the Commodore 64 era, but doing something in the modern day based on it. So
the SID ship.
Yeah, but it won't be SID anymore. This has to be a proper modern music. So yeah, we'll
SID-ish.
see. Yes.
No, but I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be so much fun to listen in on that. I'm already excited.
Yeah, good. It's interesting for me because I thought I'm like 55 years of age now. I thought my career would be over. And it's not. It's starting to ramp up again because there's a big retro revival. And people keep coming to me saying, oh, can you remake this track and remake that track? So just when I thought I'd be slowing down, maybe retire like my wife, then my work's getting more and more.
I'm very happy for this to happen because for me, who love this kind of genre of older music and newer music and all video game music in a sense, it's like I'm so happy that you're able to continue what you love and have passion for.
Yeah, and I never want to retire from music anyway. They say musicians don't retire; they decompose. But decompose. Yeah.
Oh, I love the wordplay. Yeah. And it's grim at the same time.
I'll be sitting here doing it forever. But what else would I do with my time?
Hope you do.
What else would I do? So yeah.
Start playing video games.
Yeah, probably. Back to EVE Online for the rest of my life.
Yeah. You see all those dollars fly away on chips. That's amazing. No, but yeah. Do you have any last words that you want to say before I close down the episode?
Oh, just thanks for having me here. It's been great remembering from literally the beginning of my career to the end. And hope everyone enjoyed it.
I hope they do. I definitely enjoyed it, so I hope I know they will enjoy this as well. So on the behalf of me and the listeners, thank you so much for joining in.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been so great.
Yeah, so for people who are listening in on this episode of Gameable Audio, you find other episodes of Gameable Audio over on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and Pocket Cast. And don't forget to also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Feel free to follow and comment on one of our social medias, either on Facebook or on Instagram. Just search for Gameable Audio and you'll find us there. And if you want to support a little bit more, not just by listening in or sharing the episodes, feel free to support us also over on Patreon. And as a little bit of a bonus of having Allister here, Allister has been very kind enough to share 3 Amiga 40 keys that will be raffled away to 3 Patreon backers. And this is for the full soundtrack or album that we've listened to today. So there will be more songs that you can listen in on. And our current awesome backers that we do have today is Daniel Onemark, Lars Schenström, Titti Schenström, Kevin Wikström, Sandris Wikström, Alexander Halldén, and Mats El Kebabo Tapper Holmqvist. And links to where you can either buy and support Allister, who was behind the music that we'll listen to today, you will find those in the episode descriptions. And the podcast theme music was, as always, done by the amazing Thor Myrdal. And this was, as I said before, episode 64 on the Amiga 40 special together with Allister Brimble. I am your host, Kristoffer Schenström. And with that, I want to thank everybody for listening in and see you guys next time.